If God were to come to you tonight, T, and say, I'm going to grant you a daughter tomorrow, but you can only pick between the two. You can only pick between a daughter that looks like Harriet Tubman or Scarlett Johansson. Which daughter would you choose?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You were talking real high of Harriet Tubman. So you only had two choices. God gave you two choices. He says either you can pick a daughter that will look like Harriet Tubman or a daughter that'll look like Scarlett Johansson. Who are you choosing, T?
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Why y'all so traumatized? Why y'all so broken? Why y'all so mean? Why every woman I come across always healing?
On your colors, that projection, that lack of mother figure.
You're showing your
hate that you have towards the
showing
women
you're showing why you got your problems. You're showing you don't like the men talk. You don't like that, right?
You want to hear what you gotta say.
T, if we were to engage in relations and create a child,
ooh la la,
and things didn't work out, 2 years down the road, you decide that you're no longer happy with me, and now you take our child. Who has the authority and the choice for you to leave that relationship and then take the child that we created? Who has the authority in that situation? We're not married, just we created a child, things didn't work out, you're not happy, you go. Who has the authority in that situation?
Unfortunately, that's a civil matter. And with all civil matters, when there is a conflict between two parties, then the court comes in and makes that decision. So
the white man got to make that decision.
So I will say this, and hopefully a person that I choose to procreate with, I'm aligned with. So I already respect his mindset, the way he does things, etc. So we should be able to co-parent, and there shouldn't be any of these issues. However, at any point, if there are like complete contrasts into the way that I'm doing things or I want things, I would absolutely want to have the majority of I guess participate. Well, I'm not gonna say majority. I'm thinking about a 7-day week split, right? So I likely would want to have like the 4 days. I would want to be involved. Now, if it comes down to him also wanting those 4 days, we should be able to come to an agreement, maybe swap off like two weeks out the month. You do this, you do that. But if we can't, then that's where the courts come in. It's a civil matter. Courts resolve civil matters.
I appreciate that. Now, real quick, I see some others who want to get involved, but I really want to try to mine this out. Is there any situation to where that child can go with me? Because you're not happy with me, so you decide to leave me, but we had a child. Why does the child automatically go with you? And then based on what you just stated, you have to now potentially involve judicial systems because of
Kind of breaking up.
enact. Oh, did I freeze? I'm sorry. Hello?
bring it up. I'm sorry, guys. I hate to spoil the party. I hate to spoil the party, but we have to get back on track, right? We were talking about women needing men, right? We got to get back on track.
I just want to ask Steve one question.
Can I say something?
I know we got to get back on track.
It's just one question.
I'll go by because I believe personally, right, that in modern times, women don't need men. I'm sorry, women don't need men to be in a relationship with. It just is what it is, whether we like it or not, right? Because women have men. They have men, right? She don't need you for protection because she can call the cops. Right? It just is what it is. She don't need you for protection. She don't need you to fix a light bulb because she can get a man to fix that light bulb. It just costs money. Right? All she got to do is give that man money and he'll come fix that light bulb. You know? She don't need a man. Like women, just the world that we've created and we've built, right? We've made it so women don't actually need us for relationships, and it is what it is, right? We can it sound good in that video. He said a bunch of nonsense. I'm gonna keep it a buck because I was waiting for him to substantiate it. He said, "Yo, I can see north and west, and you can see east and whatever, right?" And I'm like, "All right, what does that mean? What can she see that I can't?" Like, what can a woman see that I can't? I was waiting for him to substantiate that, and he didn't do it. He just kept repeating it, right? So, yeah, no, I don't think it's nothing that a woman can see that I can't. I do think it's stuff that I can see that a lot of women can't see. But yeah.
T, can I ask you a question? And please forgive me. You were talking very highly of Harriet Tubman earlier. I just want to ask you one question.
Yo,
please.
Chaotic. We can't get on Harriet Tubman in history.
No. I just one question. If God were to come to you,
we need to hear what True was going to say, because I really wanted to get that point.
If God were to come to you tonight, T, and say, "I'm going to grant you a daughter tomorrow," but you can only pick between the two. You can only pick between a daughter that looks like Harriet Tubman or Scarlett Johansson. Which daughter would you choose? You were talking real high of Harriet Tubman. So you only had two choices. God gave you two choices. He says either you can pick a daughter that will look like Harriet Tubman or a daughter that'll look like Scarlett Johansson. Who are you choosing, T? You love Harriet Tubman, right?
That's a white woman and a black woman, though.
You could have gave her two black women. It don't matter. It could be a purple woman. I'm just curious to know. Come on, T. You love Harriet. You said you love Harriet Tubman.
This is ridiculous.
No, you said you love Harriet Tubman. Beloved, you said you love Harriet Tubman. I'm just curious. Would you want a daughter who looked like Harriet Tubman or a daughter who looked like Scarlett Johansson?
When it comes to children,
no, I mean she would grow up. I'm talking about when she grows up. I mean, she obviously
is crazy. This is kind of wild.
What relevance does that have to this conversation?
She was saying that women were so great, and she mentioned Harriet Tubman. So I was trying to figure out, would she want a daughter that looks like Harriet Tubman?
Do you think looks are great? Do you think looks are equal?
I'm just asking the question.
What is the relevance for that question?
No. This means something.
I'm sorry. Never mind.
This means something.
My question's over.
Never
mind. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked that question. She was talking so highly of women and said Harriet Tubman.
But she didn't say anything about looks.
Well, okay. Well, if I had a son, I would hope that he looked like Martin Luther King. So would you want your daughter to look like Harriet Tubman?
What is the relevance of looks?
I didn't ask you, Bo. I asked T. She said she admired Harriet Tubman. So
now I passed the baton to everybody else on the panel.
I'm just asking a question. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'd like to address the need a man part if that's what we're talking about.
Sorry.
We talking about the need a man, right?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Yeah, they need it. Yeah.
So these women claim not to need a man, and you just did too, and none of them said nothing, even though they said I can finance myself, just give me loyalty, right? But if you don't need men,
I
why you so
say
down?
something, and I'm waiting my turn here.
Boy.
We off the topic, Toya. You want to,
Why y'all so traumatized? Why y'all so broken? Why y'all so mean? Why every woman I come across always healing?
Showing your colors, that projection, that lack of mother figure.
You're showing your
hate that you have towards the women that
you're showing why you got your problems. You're showing you don't like the men talk. You don't like that, right?
You want to hear what you gotta say.
They don't need love. They don't need families. They don't want responsibility in what determines their womanhood, since they can work like a man, make money like a man, get degrees and careers like a man. They don't have to be a woman. Women don't need a man because they'd have to be a woman. The responsibility to love men and children. That's why y'all don't want a man, because you would have to actually be a woman, but you'd rather be the version of a man that you think we are.
Oh, I'm curious. How do they need us? Like in the modern sense, right? Because they'll absolutely survive, right, without being in a relationship. So what context do they need us in?
Ma, do you realize do you need your woman?
I like to say it. In reality, I do.
You have everything you want?
Do I have everything I want? I'm working towards it.
Do you? No. You know what I mean? Like you solidified, you established, right? You a man. You got everything taken care of, right?
My woman, yeah. Absolutely.
But Ma, you checkmate yourself. If you still need a woman for love, for family, to have a person you connect to in purpose, then they need a man. Why wouldn't they not need a man? No. Listen, they got money, they got a house. They got a car, they got their degrees. Now you just need a family. Yeah. It would mean that we get money to get women. We get money to build a family. They get money to take care of themselves. So they're getting money to not have to have the responsibility to a family. So if they don't need men, Mont, then they'd be the narcissist that they're talking about. They'd be the man, they'd be the type of woman that are full of themselves. That's who they would be. Because if we're the narcissists when we're taking care of ourselves and we're full of it, then that's who they really are. When they're talking, they're actually projecting.
Yeah. So Ali, I didn't say I needed a woman. However,
Can I say something?
Hold on, Toy. Based on my worldview, I do need a woman, right? Because I'm a leader, right? But that's just the way I see it. I think that that's my purpose, is to lead a family. That's how I view my life and my purpose. So I need a woman for that. But if somebody doesn't share my worldview, if we're being realistic, hell no, they don't need a woman.
Let's keep going. Hey, Mont, if your woman and children didn't have your coverage over them, would their life be completely different?
In my opinion, hell yeah.
Would they make worse decisions?
In my opinion, hell yeah.
So why are you saying they don't need a man, Mont? If your woman and children need a man, why are you doing that on the show, fam? They need a man. That's why they got all the problems. That's why they got all the mental health problems that they got. Oh, Mont, they say it. I didn't have a daddy. I didn't have a mama. It's the way I was raised. But then when they get older, they don't think they need a man. They got all the mental health problems because they don't have coverage with a man.
Yeah. So for example, right? I don't know if T had a dad growing up, right? Let's say she didn't have a father growing up. She's alive. She's fine. She'll live to be 70, 80 years old. Like, she'll be fine.
No. Hold on. Hey, Ma, if I had a mother and a father and you didn't have both, majority of people, who would turn out better typically as a human being and mentally stable? Me with the mother and father, or you without no mother and father?
You with the mother and father, but it's context.
Typically, there. I know I said typically,
yeah,
yes, right?
Yeah, you.
Let's not make the exception the rule, right? There's people who can do great sometimes when they don't have a mother and father or come from a single parent household. Yeah. But the levels of the ways is detrimental to you when you don't have the mother or the father drastically go up. That's why we talk about the importance of fathers in the household. The single mothers, when you look at the data, the suicides, the deletions, the cognitive issues, the girls having kids early, all the stuff that we talk about, the miseducation, uneducation is typically with single mothers. When you look at the data with the children who have their fathers, even single fathers, the data is amazing. Like the kids' cognitive, the way that how educated they are, how successful they are, is because they have a man in the house.
Yeah. So if you actually look into the data, right, what is it going to tell you that's the biggest factor when it comes to a child succeeding? Is it going to say whether he has a man in his life, or is it going to say whether that the child has access to resources?
In which way you talking about finance? That's what. Mom, listen what you're saying, fam. Listen what you're saying. Mm-hmm. These women brag about having the bag. These women keep bragging about they can do it all by themselves. Yeah. But in another hand, they healing and going to church and trying to find God. So you might be able to be successful financially and superficially, but you don't have a family. You don't have somebody that love you. You don't have somebody to share that with. What serves the purpose in life to have everything and not have someone to share it with?
So I value that, right? Because that's the way that I see the world, right? But in order for me to hold someone to that standard, they have to see the world the way they have to value love the way I value love. I think love is the most important thing in the world.
You're missing the point. Hey, y'all, anybody that's on this panel, the majority of our issues is because if you didn't have a mother, you didn't have a father, you didn't have a family. I was in mental health for 15 years. Most of the kids didn't like their mother. Is most of the time their mother. They didn't know their daddy, right? That was in that system, but most of them lived with their mothers. Most of them was malnourished. Most of them was unstable. They lived with their mamas, and their mama taught them to blame their daddy. And y'all grow up to blame your father. But if we bring it all together, ultimately our problems were because we don't have families. There's people that's roomed up with other people that's not their parents. They don't get along with their uncles. They don't get along with their aunts. They don't get along with their grandparents. They're trying to find a purpose in this world and somebody to connect with. If we didn't have all these superficial things that's in front of us, we'd be miserable people, but we validate ourselves by the things that we attach ourselves to. That's not human beings, but we need human beings.